Simple and compound interest. Simple interest is paid only on the initial principal of the savings account alone. The principal would be the amount invested or borrowed. So simple interest is the interest that's paid on the principal, okay, the initial principal. So they only count interest one time. Now banks usually don't use this. Usually they'll use compound interest. Okay? But I'm teaching you simple interest first so you have a basis, so when we talk about compound interest, it'll make more sense. The formula to come up with the interest earned or charged, okay, is I equals PRT. P for principal, the initial amount, okay, the amount invested or borrowed. R is your rate, that's your interest rate, okay, changed to a decimal. T is time, time is always in years, okay, has to be in years. If they give you months, you got to change it to years. So let's say we got a loan for $1,000. We're being charged 4.5%. This is simple interest. Okay, so they're only charging its interest for the 2 years together. Okay, not year by year. This is for 2 years. So we write I equals PRT. So you remember the formula. P is our principal, which is 1,000. Our interest rate is 4.5. Remember, we can't times by a percentage. We have to change it to a decimal. Well, 4.5% is equal to 0.045. And we times by T. T, it says 2 years. Okay, if it wasn't in 2 years, if it wasn't years, we'd have to change it to years. Okay, and here is our simple interest. Okay, so we take 1,000 times 0.045, times it by 2. The interest earned on this loan is $90. 45. Because remember we're timesing by 1,000, so we would move the decimal 3 places. Yeah. What if it said, how much does this person owe after 2 years? How much would they owe? $1,090, right? They borrowed $1,000. They got charged $90 in interest. So this is how much they would owe after 2 years, right? Okay. Write this down. So we took out a loan for $2,500. We're being charged 6.75% for 3 years. Okay. We need to find out how much interest is being charged. So I equals PRT. Someone raise your hand and tell me what I'm putting in for P. Braden? 2,500. Emery, what am I putting in for R? 6.75%, but can I write a percent? Do I do multiplication with percentage? No. I have to change it to a decimal, which is what, Riley? 0.675. Not 0.675. 0.0675, because I move it 2 decimal places, right? And then for 3 years. So I take 2,500 times 0.0675 times 3. I get 506.25. So this is how much interest this loan is earning. Okay. So how much would this person pay overall after 3 years? How much would they pay? $3,006.25, right? We take the interest and add it to the principal. How much is being charged? Okay, so the bank makes $506 off this loan. All right, write this down. Compound interest is paid on the initial principal and on the interest earned in the past. So, simple interest, okay, they only charge it one time. Okay, compound interest is paid on the initial principal and the interest earned in the past. So they add up every year. Okay? It says, what is the total amount of money in an account when $600 invested at an interest rate at 8.75 annually for 2 years? Meaning, when it's compounded interest, okay, how much is earned after 2 years? So what we do is we take I equals PRT. We need to find the interest for the first year. The interest earned for the first year. Okay, the principal, the initial principal, remember, okay, we're going to do first year and we're going to do second year. Okay, we're going to split them up by years. No, it's not like simple interest where you times by 2 for time, for t. Okay, yeah, you can't do it. We take 600 times 0.0875. Okay, and we times it by 1 for the year because it has to be done each year. Okay, so 600 times 0.0875 gives me 5250. This is how much was earned at the end of the first year. Okay, what I have to do is I have to find the interest earned on the second year. Okay, but I don't put 600 back in here for my principal. Instead, for my principal is the initial amount plus the interest on the first year. So 600 plus 5250 is 652.50. Okay, so my second year, the principal will not be the same as it was the first year. You have to add what was earned from the year before. So take 652.50 times 0.0875. I have to times that by 1 year. This gives me 5709. But I need to know what the total amount of money in the account is after these 2 years. So what I have to do is I have to take the interest earned after the second year and add it to the principal. So 652.50 plus 5709 gives me a total amount of 709.59. That is how much was earned after 2 years. Does everyone understand the difference between simple interest and compound interest?
Couldn't you just
And it says 5,000 was invested at a rate of 5% compounded annually for 3 years. So what I do is I need to find out how much was earned after the first year, how much was earned for the second year, and how much was earned in the third year. So the interest earned on the first year is going to be calculated at 5,000 times 0.05. Which gives me $250 earned. My principal for this second year. Someone raise your hand and tell me what goes here. 5,250. Because I take my initial principal, 5,000, and I add it to 250. That's how I get 5250. I times that by 0.05. Because that's how much is in the account now. 5250 times 0.05 gives me 262.5. 262.50. Yes, Mackenzie, what? Yes. That now I take 52.50, I add it to my interest earned at the end of the second year. That's going to give me my principal for my third year. So 5512.5. I times that by my interest rate of 0.05. That gives me and interest earned of 275.63. I need to know. Right, this might say how much was earned after the third year. Well, it'd be 275.63. But what it wants is how much is totally earned. Okay, what's the total amount in the account now? So what I do is I take 5512.50 and I add it to 275.63. That leaves me with a total amount of 5,788.13. So after 3 years, I would have earned $788.13. Any questions? Here's your assignment.